Hello and welcome to lesson 7.3, Parallelograms Part 2. So today we're looking at the angles of parallelograms, and let's start with the opposite angles. Okay, so opposite angles, those are equal to each other. So that would be these two. See how they're across from each other? They're the same. And then these two, they're across from each other. They're the same. Now what if they are next to each other? Those add to 180. So that would be this x and y, right? This x and y, this x and y. Those add to 180, all right? So let's look at example 1. So for number 1, the two angles are across. That means they are equal, they're the same. So it's just 120, okay? Let's write that a little bit better. All right, now for number 2, I know it says try it, but that's going to be, actually these are all four going to be examples. So now for number 2, these are next to each other, so those add to 180. So we're going to subtract from 180 to find the missing one, and that would be 50 degrees, right? So see how for number 1, they were across, they're the same. Number 2, they're next to each other, so they add to 180, right? 130 plus 50 gives you 180, okay? Same concept for 3 and 4. It's just going to be an equation now. So for number 3, these are across from each other, so they are equal. So 116 is equal to 11x plus 17. We can solve for x by subtracting 17 from both sides. That gives us 99 on the left and 11x on the right. And we can divide both sides by 11 to get x is equal to 9. Okay, so again, 3, they are across from each other. That's why we set them equal to each other. For number 4, right, E and D, these angles are next to each other, so they're going to add to 180. So 9x plus 22 plus 50 is going to equal 180. So let's combine like terms. That's 22 and 50. That gives us 72. So bring down the 9x. These combine to 72, and it still equals 180. And now we can solve by subtracting 72 from both sides. That gives us 9x on the left and 108 on the right. And let's divide by 9. So 108 divided by 9 is 12, so x is equal to 12. Okay, so just to recap the front, if the angles in a parallelogram, if they are across from each other, they are equal. If they are next to each other, they add to 180, okay? 2 concepts to remember. Now with the diagonals, it's a little different. So let's highlight again. Each diagonal creates 2 congruent triangles. And what do we know about triangles? Their angles add up to 180, okay? So, and if you notice here, right, let's go back to one color. We're just gonna, let's use 3. So let's use these, okay? Let's use one color for the X. These are opposite, so we know they're equal to each other, okay? Now, let's use this one. Now, if this one if it's on the top here, it's gonna be like on the bottom here. It's gonna kind of flip over the diagonal, okay? So you kind of have to picture it, because basically, let's use this color. Same thing with this one, it's gonna flip over the diagonal. Because they're congruent triangles, but they've been kind of like flipped and rotated, you have to kind of match it up, right? The corresponding ones have to match up. That's how we're gonna solve these problems. So make sure you're kind of flipping it over the diagonal, right? Like the Z goes over here and the Y goes over here, okay? So keeping that in mind, let's look at number 5. So number 5, it's saying, what is this missing angle right here? Well, this top one flips to this one, so it's gonna be just 46 degrees, okay? Again, like these opposite ones, right, are the same. And then this one kind of like rotates to down here. Now for number 6, again, we want to mark the drawing if we can, right? So this 26 flips over here, okay? So we have our unknown, we have 120, we have 26. We know this is a triangle, right? So we can add it to equal 180. X plus 120 plus 26 equals 180, right? A triangle adds up to 180, so do two sides, two consecutive sides of a parallelogram. A lot of things add to 180 in geometry, okay? So just remember that we can have all angles add up to 180 if it's a triangle, all right? So 120 plus 26 is 146, and we subtract that from 180. So 180 minus 146 is 34. So it's 34 degrees, okay? And I know that says, again, these say try it. I'm just going to go ahead and do all of these, okay? All right, so for number 7, and we want to mark the diagram. So this 61 kind of flips over here, all right? And so we have, again, this is a triangle. And again, I'm trying not to be confusing, but do you understand, right? The triangle adds to 180, and then the two consecutive sides also add to 180. I hope that's clear, okay? All right, so now let's finish number 7. So we have 61 plus 79 plus 5x plus 10 is all equal to 180. So we're going to combine like terms. 61 plus 79 is 140. 140 plus 10 is 150. So we have 5x plus 150 is equal to 180. And now we can solve for x by subtracting 150. 5x is equal to 30. And let's divide both sides by 5. Okay. Oh, it's getting a little weird over here, sorry. So x is equal to 6. All right, so last one, I'm gonna go ahead and do, actually, no. Go ahead and pause the video and try number 8. I think you guys got it. All right, hopefully you did number 8 by yourself. So let's flip 53 over to this side, and now we have a triangle. So 84 plus 53 plus 43x is equal to 180. So let's combine like terms. So 84 and 53 is 137 plus 43x is 180. Now let's subtract 137, and that's going to give us 43x on the left. 180 minus 137 is 43 on the right. And when we divide both sides, we get x is equal to 1. All right. So just to recap, if it is a parallelogram, we have opposite sides that are equal. We have next to each other, consecutive sides, adding to 180. And if we have a diagonal in the parallelogram, it's going to create two triangles. We have to make sure we mark the diagram, and we could just add it up to equal 180. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. I will help you with the practice. Otherwise, I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.